This video contains spoilers from the official Ben 10 comic. Get ready, because in this summary of the first 10 pages, several enemies have started to gather and move against Ben. This is just getting started, so without much more to say, I'll be quiet for a month and let's begin. The Ben 10 comic gives us a raw, authentic view of the universe. Vilgax is an imposing conqueror of worlds who throughout his career has never been defeated anywhere in the universe. Inside his ship, Vilgax proclaimed, "I see the universe in a very simple way, as a territory to be conquered, ready to be brought under my rule. Those who have dared to oppose me have met their sad end. Is there anything left that can challenge me? Any existing weapon that poses any kind of threat to me? I have recently been informed that there is one, but very soon it will be mine." These are the first words of Vilgax in the comic, which make us feel that he is a total threat. Inside this ship, you can feel his power. Vilgax is not sitting around waiting for things to happen. Only a prodigious mind could outwit the final fate of the universe. This first look at the comic, with a comparison to the first episode of the original series, shows us Vilgax in completely opposite situations. One is desperate and anxious, with no control over the situation. The other is calm, trying to anticipate his next move. It's interesting to know that the BOIDE serve Vilgax in both comparisons. Let me remind you that these are robots built by Vilgax to serve him, since it's more than obvious that no one would dare to be near him. Severe damage, 20% weapon systems operational. I came too far not to make it. In the second part, we can finally see the interaction of the three main characters. You can see Grandpa Max's calmness, telling his grandchildren that nothing is fair in this world. Meanwhile, Ben and Gwen focus on that constant cousin rivalry. She teases him because Ben really likes sumo wrestlers, and he teases her because she's always carrying books. In this case, conspiracy theories about aliens. Good old Grandpa Max always tries to calm them down, telling them to stop picking on each other. But both cousins know that fighting is just their thing. They've been doing it since they were kids. What do you think we are now, dummy? Okay, this trip isn't about that, guys. Speaking of which, if we get up early enough tomorrow, we can make it to Mount Rushmore before noon. What do you think, Ben and Gwen? You can tell they're uncomfortable since they lack phones and can't access the internet. Gwen tries to act like the good girl in front of her grandpa, but Ben makes fun of her. Gwen, tired of all this, makes a somewhat hurtful comment. "At least my parents aren't using this trip as an excuse to get rid of me." "Gwendolyn," Grandpa Max reacts, and Ben just lowers his head. "Well, I don't need them either. I'm out of here." Ben waits. It's interesting to know that Gwen's words made Ben explode. Does Grandpa Max's reaction make it more important? And the thing is, Ben's parents aren't happy with him. On the X platform, there was a lot of talk about a theory that Ben could be the cause of a possible divorce between them, but honestly, I see that as very far from reality. All of this makes it sound like Ben is a troublemaker, that he's always being scolded for his actions, and that he's distracted just like they've shown us from the beginning. That this causes problems between his parents, yes, but that this leads to a divorce, no. Many people on X try to get attention at all costs, even going so far as to create fake posts. A recent example is someone manipulating a Ben 10 dialogue about divorce. The main concern is that the responsibility lies with a page that once provided valuable community information. It's a shame that a page that used to be useful is now just another one. It makes things up and spreads misinformation, throwing its credibility in the trash just to get attention. Anyway, in space, an agent detects an object approaching Earth at full speed. There's no way to stop it, so he quickly informs his superiors about what, on his part, had entered the forest. When a light catches his attention, a flaming object at full speed heads toward him. The object falls, crashing very close to Ben, sending him flying. Ben is confused. The object has created a crater which emits a yellow light. Anyone else would have already taken a step back, but not Ben. He is intrigued by the event he is witnessing. Very slowly, he approaches the edge to see what it is, but from the meteorite, a kind of tentacle is crawling toward Ben's feet. This object with green energy lunges toward him. Ben, in his attempt to get away, reaches out his hand, but it sticks to him. The object starts to wrap around his wrist, trying to form something. Ben, desperate, tries to take it off, but he can't, out of nowhere. And in a matter of minutes, the forest is filled with soldiers. You can see them with tanks and a pretty hostile attitude. The person in charge of this mission is Colonel Rossum, who informs all units that there is a high priority object in the vicinity. It's up to us to find out what has landed here. We're not going to give up until we get them. The instructions are clear, and the fact that Colonel Rossum has already appeared manages to change our perspective from the beginning of the series, where such a dangerous object as the Omnitrix could arrive on Earth and no one knew about it. Knowing that there were the plumbers and even a special team in the series, not seeing them at the beginning caused some instability in the story. Having the Colonel appear is the best way to introduce a character whose story has been quite difficult, the shady one related to alien cases. For several decades, Colonel Rossum was in charge of imprisoning the aliens who entered Earth. They were placed in special cells in Area 51. You've detained people here for 50 years, not people, aliens, on suspicion of threatening the planet's security. Grandpa Max, worried about Ben, had gone into the forest. Ben, worried about his grandson, he looked up at the sky and saw a yellow streak which made him wonder if Ben was okay. Ben, for his part, was in the camper reading his books. He said sarcastically, "What a great vacation, Ben." Trying to escape from the soldiers, he went deeper into the forest, still wondering what was on his wrist. Suddenly, something stopped in front of him. What was it? A gigantic bear with mechanical features had appeared. Ben was left stunned, awaiting his fate. This is how the big preview ends. It's time for the Omnitrix to make its appearance and introduce us to the first alien of the comic. There are many possibilities for who could appear, but we'll leave that for the next video. For now, I'd like to finish with the analysis of this last page. Since this mutated bear could be one of Dr. Animo's experiments, the old madman usually does this kind of thing. One of those failed experiments wandering through the forest is very possible. What isn't possible is that this is Cyber Bear, a fictional character that only existed in Ben's mind. This sounds more like a little nod to the characters from the reboot. Joe Casey and the whole Mave of Action team had mentioned to us that they were going to take all the Ben 10 series into account. Taking this creature as a little cameo of something that existed in the reboot seems pretty good to me, but for it to actually be that character, right? The series aims much further by starting to introduce characters from the beginning, like Colonel Rossum, and in this possible case, in one of the Animo experiments. They would give us a pretty good idea of how truly committed the team is to this. A lot of people haven't liked the art style or the aliens, but I think that's it. We'll talk about it in the next video. Frio 10,000 mil has finally returned, and with that, lots of Ben 10 videos and theories, so I recommend you subscribe to the channel. Since until next May 4th, the date when the first Ben 10 comic will be released officially, I'll try to bring you a video every week to get you ready for this big premiere. If you have the possibility to contribute so we can get the Ben 10 comic, here are the links. Or if you can't become a member, like these amazing people who support the channel, and if you still can't, neither of the two. By subscribing and liking this video, you help me a lot. Let's try to reach a goal of 2,000 likes on this video so I can release the next one as soon as possible, and so that the first alien to debut in the Ben 10 comic is Heat Blast. For my part, and with the company of these amazing people, I say goodbye. Remember, I'm Frio 10 mil, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. It was hard, it was hard, it was hard, but we're here, folks.